We are on.
Are you ready? Ready?
Oh yes, you are so ready. You're so ready. We're just going to jump right into it, Lil. Hello, beautiful best friends, and welcome back to our safe, cozy space of the big wide internet. It is so lovely to see you. I hope you're doing super well and that life is treating you very, very kindly. If you are new here, my name is Liz and I am so happy to meet you. This is Lily. It's her world. We're just living in it. She is the main character. So it is time for our second edition of Come Scroll With Me. Let's scroll away. Yeah, I think we're sticking with Come Scroll With Me. I'm happy to live my 75-year-old woman's best life on a cruise ship. I don't care. That's me now. Today we are headed to another one of my favorite subreddits, AskReddit. I personally love this sub. It's really straightforward. Internet strangers get on the internet and ask a question, and other internet strangers answer with some of the most profound, thought-provoking, sometimes sad, but mostly hilarious answers that you're likely ever to hear. And I kind of need this in my life right now because I'm still trying to climb out of the doom spiral that Guardians of the Galaxy 3 sent me on last week. I won't give any spoilers, but suffice to say, I cried about 6 times during the film and then the whole drive home. Like, honestly, I am not okay and I still can't talk about it. So instead, we're going to bury our emotions nice and deep and dive into the first question. What is your ultimate comfort activity if you need to relax? The most popular answer is laying down is mandatory. Could be on the couch, at the beach, on a flat rock, in the woods, in a tent, on a lawn, in a sauna, etc. But I gotta lay down and take my socks off for maximum relaxation. And OP says the socks part is very crucial, and I agree. Someone said sleep, can't be anxious if you're not conscious, and the first response was nightmares have entered the chat. Stress streams entered the chat. I'm late for my exam. Wait, I graduated 23 years ago. This ain't right. I can't be unconscious if I'm anxious. Another answer, closing my blackout curtains, turn off the lights, and watch my favorite TV show. This 100%. Watching YouTube videos for 6 hours straight while having snacks, then going to bed. This answer makes me nervous that someone has set up a camera in my house and is secretly recording me. We're going to move on to the next question. What screams they are compensating for something? First answer, overly flexing and bragging about their achievements, lashing out on people online, etc. Someone responded, I see you've met my mother. Another answer is people who put others down. They are compensating for their lack of power by abusing others. Being obnoxiously overconfident in everything they talk about, even if they don't know what they are saying or claiming in every conversation. Another one, all those guys that obsess over and call themselves an alpha or a chad. It just reeks of insecurity to me. Anybody who brags about being an alpha is not an alpha. Fun fact, alpha radiation cannot penetrate a few centimeters of air or a piece of paper. Source, just took a physics exam. Fun fact, alpha males cannot penetrate a woman. Source, women. Moving on to the next question though, what is your biggest fear and how do you try to overcome it? First answer is going to prison. I don't break the law. Next answer, and this is me 100%, the ocean, specifically open water in the middle of the ocean. Nothing scares me more than being in the middle of the ocean and seeing nothing but water in every direction with no way of escape. This gives me goosebumps even as I'm reading it. Also, all those creatures, I'm helplessly sitting there at their mercy. I got goosebumps writing this. The ocean is a scary and beautiful thing. Another answer, spiders. I don't know how to overcome it. And a response, work out, learn to box, fight a spider. Another answer is something happening to my kids. Try and protect them without overprotecting them, always being vigilant. For the people that are here from before, we started like the overhaul of our safe space. I know this will seriously resound with you, especially if you're a parent, because we all watch and listen to way too much true crime. Someone responded, before I had kids, like 3 things scared me. Now I'm scared of about 1,000,000 trillion different things that could hurt them. Someone else said, it was instantaneous. Congrats on the birth of your child. Here they are, adorable. Oh, and here's the 7 truckloads of worry, self-doubt, fear that we forgot to mention you get for free. We'll just unload it in your brain. There you go, all set. Don't worry, we'll top you off daily. That is so true. This answer's so good. Home ownership, but it's pretty easy to avoid. There are a few other people that are scared of open water. One of them said, deep water, stay the heck on dry ground. Ooh, someone answered, being exposed as a fraud, and I don't try to overcome it. I have already been exposed. I definitely feel like there's a juicy story behind that answer. The next question is, do you believe in pretty privilege? If so, how prevalent do you think it is in society? The first answer is, as a one-time fit guy that then got overweight and is now fit again, it is absolutely a thing and encountered every day. Someone responded, agreed. I'm a woman, and when I was slim, men and women interacted with me way more. Now that I'm obese, it's definitely noticeable how invisible I am. That makes me so sad. I don't find people are openly rude, they just ignore me. The only group of people that interacts with me more now are other obese people. Someone else said, when I lost a ton of weight, 80 to 100 pounds-ish, it was very confusing why conversations were so much different. Lol. Wow, people sure are nicer and friendlier for some strange reason recently. Wow, someone said, when I lost 100 pounds, the checkout lady at the grocery store flirted with me. She had not noticed me at all in the previous 5 or so years. Another Redditor answered, yes, I attribute about 60% of my success in life to being slightly above average looking and smelling good. Both of those things go a very long way in how people perceive and treat you. Someone said, I wanted to say about the smell, that's important too. And the person replied, for sure, you can be the nicest, smartest, chillest guy around, but if you smell, no one will want to be near you. It's kind of true. Someone answered with a question, real quick, is there anyone who thinks this doesn't exist? And someone answered that question with, I think most people, even attractive people, accept that it's a real thing, but are oblivious to how much influence it has on their lives. They think it's a small matter. It's like having rich parents. It's because I meditate every morning that I'm successful. They prefer to think it's their hard work and exercise routine instead of parents and genetics. Exactly, but beauty is subjective is such an easy shield to hide behind. And someone answered, I had to break the news to my girlfriend that getting free drinks and appetizers is not a common experience for most people when they go out. And I think that pretty much proves the other guy's answer, that people with pretty privilege either don't believe it exists or acknowledge that it does exist, but don't recognize how much it actually benefits them in life. This could probably be said for a few other privileges that I'm not going to mention right now. Moving on though, what's something that has never made sense to you? First answer, the fact that most people work during the daytime on weekdays, but common services/businesses like banks and post office aren't open late into the night to cater to the people who can't get to them during the daytime. It's so true. Someone else's answer was wind. I'm sure there's a science behind it, but I don't want to know it because I'll still question it. How does the air just start moving on its own, and why does it have to inconvenience me? My dad told me it was the leaves on the trees flapping. As a kid, I had no reason not to believe him. Someone responded, agreed, the wind is a creep. The wind is a weirdo. What the hell is it doing here? It doesn't belong here. Ah, yes. Entry-level jobs asking for 3 to 5 years of experience. Like how? Entry is supposed to be the bridge for experience. Another answer, why isn't phonetics spelt the way it sounds? Or someone responded, and it triggers me, why does the word lisp contain an S? That's just cruel. I had a lisp growing up and it still is there occasionally. I don't know if you guys have ever heard it if you've been here a while. It tends to be when I'm talking too quickly or I'm tired or I've had a wine or two. Another response was, abbreviation is a terribly long word. That is true. Isn't the abbreviation of abbreviation ABV? If you have to abbreviate the word abbreviation, doesn't it kind of defeat the whole purpose? Another answer is our universe. Like, how does it just go on for infinity? Surely there's a wall at the end of it or something, right? The responses are, it's actually endlessly expanding. But my feeble brain wants to know what it's expanding into. Beyond. Poof. This is a good question. If we all had to walk around with a sign around our necks as a foreword to introduce who you are, what would your sign say? First answer, does not play nicely with others. May contain alcohol and nuts. Please be nice to me. Another says, sorry in advance, patient stranger. 1, resting bitch face and voice. 2, military training and autism. 3, it's nothing personal. The dog distracted me. What's your name again? Someone else answered, abandon all hope ye who enter here. OP said, I have that tattooed over my heart. I will write something later. This is so good. Do not perceive me, please. Startles easily. That could be your sign. Startles easily. The next question is, what do you do to annoy your siblings? And the very first answer is, exist. Someone else answered, stand in their doorway because I'm technically not in their room. OP answered their own question with, I told them they got bit by a pig and they became a pig. Someone else answered, we both grew up religious, but he still believes. So occasionally I will text him as if the Catholic Church is after me. Tell him not to believe the stories about me and to expect a lot of lies to come out about what I do. Really freaks him out. Lol. And I think everyone has done this one. I would call/shout to get my brother's attention as if there is an emergency. He would come downstairs and I'd tell him, please pass the TV remote, which is like inches away from my hand. Seeing his reaction makes me happy always. And finally, as the youngest, I can safely say that pretty much everything we do annoys our older siblings. Next, we've got Redditors. Have you ever gotten an ick from a potential partner or love interest that instantly killed your attraction to them? If so, what happened? The most popular answer is talking about our interests, and after I listened to him blab about his lawnscaping business, I went to talk about my interests and he interrupted me to say, wow, you really have nothing interesting to say, do you? Someone responded, he set the bar too high with lawnscaping. That's really his fault that nothing you had seemed interesting after that. Someone else responded, I had the inverse of this happen. Went out with a guy who would not stop grilling me and I couldn't get him to actually answer any questions about himself. Finally just said, look, it's cool that you're so interested in getting to know me, but I'd like to hear about you too. What do you do in your free time? He sat there and stared for a bit, then started listing off TV shows asking if I'd seen them. I had not. Finally, he got to The Wire, which I'd seen a few episodes of, and because that was the only one I had experience with, apparently that meant I needed a 20-minute monologue about what the show was about. I literally checked the clock when he started and it was a full 20 minutes. When he finally petered out, we just sat in silence for a second before he stood up, shook my hand, and left without another word. Or another answer of an ick is the amount of times he spent plotting revenge, usually against his parents or ex-wife, should have been spent introspectively and on getting his life back on track. We broke up shortly thereafter. Then we tried to reconcile. Then he smoked meth in front of me. And that was the end of that. Another answer is literally every single problem she had was someone else's fault. Even when there was proof it was her fault, she would argue nonstop that it was someone else's. She got in a car wreck and called insurance over and over again to tell them that it was the other person's fault. They checked the computer in her car because it saved her speed. She was going right before the wreck. It told them everything they needed to know and she still denied it. Someone else's ick was grabbed me by the face on the first date, stroked under my eyes and said, you need to take better care of yourself. Sir, I'm a divorced 37-year-old with kids, and those under-eye circles were passed down from my grandmother. They're family heirlooms. And get your hands off my face. We just met, and this is not a Nicholas Sparks movie. Wow. Found out the reason he rented the house next door to his parents was so his mum would make his meals, wash his clothes, etc. Had the audacity to say, let me call my mum when I mentioned I was a little hungry. Someone replied, LMAO, like it's a flex in the same way summoning a personal chef would be. Poor lady, although I suspect her enabling is much to blame for this. And I think we're going to finish up on this one. What is this chapter of your life called? The most upvoted response is The Downward Spiral. Another answer is me, no problemo. And then in brackets, narrator, but it was all problemo. Before I read this one, I will say there's very soft references to ending it, which Lily is apparently not fazed by at all. Oh no, she is bothered. Thanks. Well. Okay, bye. So the answer is the finale. And someone replied saying, I'm hoping you don't mean that literally. If I read that as what I think it is, please don't. And the person replied, oh shit, just reread what I said. What I meant by that was like the end of school, for me at least. And the person replied, okay, good. How's school going? And he said, making me want to be in the final chapter. Someone said, I'm sorry, I've been laughing for like 10 minutes of this. Oh, someone said, finding myself. OP said, I'd read that. Oh no, the baby that took all sleep. Another person just said, ah. Oh, this one's nice. So we'll make it the last answer we read. Last chapter, I think it's meant to say, when does it stop getting worse? Current chapter, I'm trying, I promise. Next chapter, hopefully, I made it, mum. And then the person's responded to their own answer. Wow. Thinking and writing that out brought tears to my eyes. Weird how actually writing stuff out instead of saying it in your head produces more emotional response. Well, I hope I made it, mum, is the next chapter too. And that is where we are going to leave off today, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and Lily, who has gone MIA. If you have any favorite subreddits, apps, websites, threads that you would like to explore together, then absolutely send them my way and I will add them to my list that we can scroll through together. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week. Thank you so much for being here. Me and Lily will be counting down the hours until we see you in the next one. Bye.